Live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Monday. Today is Monday, August 30th, 2021. This is the Dojo Live recap show where we take 10 minutes to recap last week's conversations with amazing CEOs and founders of cool technology companies shaping our future. I'm Tulio Siragusa, broadcasting from Southern California, and I'm joined by Kim Lantis in Hermosillo, Mexico, and Carlos Ponce in Cuernavaca, Mexico. Before we
Hey,
move forward today, I do want to acknowledge one of our teammates whose his birthday today. Happy birthday, Carlos!
happy birthday
Yay!
to you.
All right. So we had three shows last week. We talked about the future of the data revolution with Harrison Tang, who is the CEO at Spokeo. And we spoke about shared home ownership, a faster way to build equity and access home ownership with Eric Chebil, who's the CEO at Cher. And finally, rapid recoveries from ransomware with Govind Rangasamy, who's the founder and CEO at Appranix. Interesting conversation. I personally really liked the home ownership conversation we had with Eric. It's become very difficult in our day and age today to look for a house. It's very competitive. There's more demand than there are available inventory of homes. And oddly enough, since the major crash of 2008, 2009, new home builds have not kept up with demand either. So you've got lack of construction, higher demand, less inventory. It's become more and more difficult to own a home. But the idea of shared home ownership, where people who are roommating, for example, could potentially own a home. Why spend money on
Yeah,
rent when you can pull your resources and
yeah.
own a home and build equity that way? And then that equity
Finally,
build.
a real solution that isn't just stop eating avocado toast.
Exactly. And this isn't just for fresh out of school people roommating. It's also an option for people who want to do investment properties, right? Could be, you want to have someone who co-owns with you, like your father, your mother, or what have you. So it's a really cool idea, and they've created a platform that allows people to essentially meet and
Mhm.
coordinate all the activities behind purchasing a house. They've even set up mortgages with lenders that are favorable to these kinds of programs. So it just goes to show how technology is reshaping our reality. People already co-live together, there's co-ops, there's all kinds of things going on. Why not make it possible for you to co-own a home and build equity? So I really like
Easier.
that show, and I love that technology is enabling that kind of disruption in that
Oh yeah.
marketplace. What about you guys?
Yeah, this one in particular, I was going to say, in adding to what you mentioned about Cher, which it's funny, a little parenthesis, I cannot help but think of the singer because
I
Yes.
know. The same
it's
thing happens to me too.
spelled
I think
out,
it's a
spelled
play
out
on
And I hear
words.
that
exactly the
song in
same
my
thing,
head.
right? Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, so in adding to what you mentioned, Tulio, it's not just about the possibility to invest. Let's create a pool of resources to invest in homes by a means of co-ownership or shared ownership. But it's also the possibility for a lot of people out there who maybe in the future can even benefit at a different level, maybe by accessing that equity that they are building up through some other form, like maybe a sell leaseback, or they can even sell jointly sell their homes in the open market to a realtor and maybe benefit from the whatever appreciation in value the home has acquired. I don't know. I'm just thinking from the top of my head. So then possibilities are not limited to the moment that you actually invest and think about the future, but also the moment you exit as an investor. So I think that's enabling the average person out there who is just starting out to own property with this possibility. I think it's great. I think it's a great endeavor that is going to help, could help potentially a lot of people. And of course,
Yeah.
added by technology, it's going to make it a lot easier, right? But the end goal is to help others by means of uh, helping them access their equity in the future. I think it's great.
Yeah. The other show that I got to participate in, my participation with Cher was limited due to ready connection, but I did get to full on enjoy the talk with Govind Rangasamy, CEO of Appranix, about rapid recoveries from ransomware. Having been a victim of myself once, I can appreciate this. Of course, I think he quoted something about 300,000, potentially up to $300,000 of money lost for larger companies who experience ransomware attacks per hour. And in the past, this has taken anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. So it's like $14.5 million worth potentially. And with their technology at Appranix, they're able to get you up and running with essentially the touch of a button. So within an hour or less. So I would definitely put my money there. Especially with something that it's not just about prevention, right? We talked about more and more attacks. We do try to prevent, but it's good to have that insurance as well. So I think it's just impressive how it's like this backup of the backup of the backups, and then they can get that up and running very, very quickly. Impressive technology, necessary for people on the cloud for sure if your business depends on it.
I love how we continue the conversation with Govind off the air. The technology reminds me of the simplicity of how you could do an iCloud backup, right? Your iPhone, you have to change it. You literally do a backup and it restores everything the way it was. Same thing with the time machine. And because in business, sometimes it's so complicated, but when it comes to consumers, you have something so simple like that, right?
Right.
And it was amazing to discover that even their system is called time backup. So it was similar in name to what Apple's done. So they've created a similar approach for businesses to be back and running the way if you are with your iOS devices, which is kind of awesome. All right, let's continue on. Conversation with Harrison Tang with Spokeo. We talked a lot about privacy, and the key thing that came out of that conversation was this idea that it's not so much about privacy as it is transparency, right? Why is my data being used and what is it being used for? And how can I collaborate as the owner of that data with companies in order to get the services and personalization that I want? So um, it puts the end user square in control of how they want that data used. And that's really what it comes down to, more about transparency on how it's being used. What came up for you guys with that discussion?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you never know when these when I'm on mute. Yeah, well, what I can say about this particular one with Spokeo is I know this is a highly technical from at least for me, the average run of the mill average guy. But what I found really interesting is this this challenge, let's call it that, that we're all facing as we advance in the world of information sharing across the world. Is my concern as a user is how is my information is going to be kept completely private or safe. Just as an example, I used an app just this morning that required me to do, and this is just for the retirement fund thing. And then there's a facial recognition app. It's requesting me, sit in front of the smartphone, recognizing my face. And then I go, where's this information going? What do I know? How do I make sure that this is kept at bay from attacks or being stolen or misused? So that's really a huge concern. I think that Spokeo has is, at least from what I saw, I think it's doing a good job and trying to keep everything under control so far. So I cannot say much about the tech part, but I certainly look forward to just being able to sleep at night.
Yeah, what I look forward to is this week's shows. Carlos, what are they?
Yeah, what do we got?
We got 3 shows, as a matter of fact. Ooh, okay. Tomorrow we're going to be speaking. Well, anyway, tomorrow is product-led growth for B2B developer tools and companies. And then on Wednesday, it'll be what the future of sales means for humans. And then finally, on Thursday, No RX, with a platform to help. Let's see. I had it right here in front of me, and I just lost it. Dang.
That's all right. We're over time
Anyway,
anyway, so just keep
online
going with
platform
it.
for patient and physician engagement. Anyway, Ruben,
We
do
have
your
4
magic,
this week.
please.
We also have one at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. We got 4 shows this week. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. That's it.
Come back
All
tomorrow,
right.
12 o'clock Pacific. See you guys soon. Be safe.
See,
Bye.
be safe.